Hey, what a flippity flop though! This is Stranger or Big Moose! And we're here at the Faultarian Journal, number 19, ladies and gentlemen. Holy guacamole! We're getting this started. It's titled Grux this week. You can't see as much on screen because it is going to be a shorter one as usual because work sucks, man. I don't know what else to tell you. It's rough. It's making it more difficult to do this. So it's just been shortened, but that's okay. We're here. We're still doing it. We're still here. I'm joined here with GottaGetSwole. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm gotta get swollen, and yeah, I guess I'm the only other co-host here today.
Yes, absolutely. It does look like EssayRead and Norweginator might be a little bit busy, unfortunately. Uh, but that's all right. They got things to do. We got lives. Uh, Shout out to Cha for letting me have a stream up on the stream today. That's the gameplay we will be seeing, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, as usual, it is broken out into Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Act 1, we got Grux. Act 2, we got Halloween. And Act 3, we got Fall taking a turn. Well, and we'll talk more about what I mean by taking a turn as we get going into it. So, Chandler, first I just had to start it off. Last week, literally last week, we were talking about balancing Kalari because the week before that, no, I disagree. So last week we were talking about Kalari, and just a bit of balancing that I think she needed. And Norwegian pitched in. He had a lot of great ideas, super fantastic. And then the week before we were talking about Kalari just being in the game. And
Yep.
14 days later, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a brand new hero. Now that's awesome, in my opinion. You know, Grux is in the game. I'm super excited. I mean, you could see like once the horns showed up, it was kind of like, well, it's Grux or Rampage. It's kind of what I was thinking. Like it's either one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, definitely to me, and that's kind of what I was saying last week. Like, it felt like it had to be uh Grux only because I used to play a lot of Grux, and I was pretty confident that was the exact sound I remembered from playing them, but obviously with time we have come to know that's exactly what it was.
That is exactly what it was. It was Grux. Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm actually so happy that it's Grux.
Oh yeah, no, well, I mean, even just something as simple as like I remember watching a couple streams and people just in nostalgia going through and looking at even just the skins again and being like, holy shit, like Grux really does have some of the best skins
He really does, man.
Paragon ever had.
He really does. Well, he has the magma skin, number one. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
well, I mean that's big.
That's pretty awesome. Rampage had some good skins too. Rampage was one of the only heroes in Paragon 2 to have reskins of tier 2 and tier 3 skins. He
Yep.
had like he had the blue ice one, and then he also had like not a magma one, but like a rock one, and those were both reskins. It was just the same skin but different color, right? And that
Yeah.
was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome.
Well,
Um,
I always liked having the magma skin there on Grux because it always kind of felt like the poor man's mastery skin.
yes, yes, it was. It really was. Man, Chandler, weren't you a big fan of Grux?
Yep. That was definitely probably my most played character, I'd say. I mean, Revenant and Drongo were definitely up there, but I'd say a close third would have been Grux for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Strain Matter Studios. They got the heroes out. We got Kalari this month. We got Grux this month. It does look like we are going to be going into the November month for the next batch of heroes, whether that be one hero, two heroes, I'm not entirely sure.
Yep.
Um, I think it's just one, but like I don't know.
I was gonna say, wasn't Kalari a bonus, and we're still supposed to get two heroes, or did that change?
Well, Clary is a bonus, but like we're still within the two heroes every 2 months kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's just like it's just been a gray area, right? And it's not.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll see a hero because, but what it's looking like might happen. Is we'll see two heroes this month, one hero next month, even instead of waiting
yeah.
another
Well, I
60
wouldn't even
days to
care.
see.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely better to like, because I think at first, and I could have just interpreted it wrong. I thought at first, again, it was releasing two characters at a time, spaced out those months apart. But I'd almost preferred if it was just like one character released at a time, just more often.
Mm-hmm. What you
But
mean, like every 3 weeks?
well, I wouldn't go that far with it. But
Oof.
like if there was one new character implemented every 4 to 5 weeks,
Yeah,
or even a little bit longer, whatever. But it keeps it fresh, and you're not just dumping two characters on anyone at any point. And just because, like,
absolutely.
I'm just thinking back to the Grim and Decker coming out at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I think definitely now having Kalari, and then a week later having Gruk, and then if we have go another 4 or 5 weeks and then get another character, I definitely prefer that kind of pacing with them.
Mm-hmm. A new hero every 4 to 5 weeks, or remove Kalari. Listen, I'm just gonna say it now. I'll say it for everyone. I'll say it on behalf of its Mike, as well. Kalari is still a bit busted. Okay, even after a bit of balancing, she's still a bit busted. And its Mike in particular is not a fan of that hero at the moment. Not a fan. Not at all. He he is, yes. We'll just say that, and we'll get into more why as we go. But I did want to say, like, Grux, man, like Grux. I think Grux is really healthy for the game. I was saying this last time, and I just wanted to say it again. I think that every hero that should come in Fault has to add a new dynamic. That's why I think someone like Gadget. Yes, I understand that there isn't a lot of mid laners in Fault at the moment. I understand it. I get it. I get it, ladies and gentlemen. I understand. You want a bit of a variety, especially if you're a mid lane main. Um, but does
Well, I
Gadget?
think it'd be sweet to have Howie over Gadget,
You think
personally.
so?
I mean, I just like the aesthetic of Howitzer over Gadget. I never really understood the fuss about it, but that was kind of the same with you, kind of never understanding the fuss everyone had with Kalari, and now you kind of see how she can be busted. So, I mean, everyone's got their preference, anyways, but I'd definitely way prefer to see Howitzer ASAP.
Absolutely. And well, yeah, I prefer Howitzer personally myself as well. Um, so, but like I can see on one hand, I think we need more mid laners. I'm not saying we don't, but on the other hand, is Gadget and Howitzer any different than Gideon? Like truly, like what new dynamic like do they bring that they don't? Like really, Kalari brought stealth, assassination, like true assassination, not mock assassination like what Countess does. And Grux brought trauma, which is awesome. I'm really excited about that. I love adding the new dynamics into the game. And one thing I do love about this is Grux feels very balanced at the moment. Like surprisingly like balanced. Like usually you expect a new hero to be like a bit overtuned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but like Grux doesn't feel that much. In fact, he might feel like slightly overtuned, undertuned. I don't know. I'd say he's pretty good. I'd say he's like fair where he is, but some people would argue he's undertuned. Um, and I'm just kind of interested about that. Like what am I trying to say? Kalari is very overtuned. She's already had a balance patch, and she's still feeling a bit rough around the edges. Okay, it feels like if you don't
Yeah,
got a Kalari on your team, you're kind of inting at this moment in the game, or
yeah.
or she's just not fun to play against. Is another way to look at it. To her, Grux feels fun. he feels
Yeah, well, I
awesome.
was gonna say it's kind of one of those situations where Grux gets implemented, and I'll still see people talking about how no matter what for jungle, they'd still prefer a Chimera in the jungle rather than a Grux. But at the same time, like a good Grux
I'm
player
too quiet.
is going to, or maybe I'm too loud. Who knows?
No, no,
Typically,
no.
you're the loud one, aren't you? I was like,
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
I'm
I mean,
normally the
my.
quiet one.
Oh, no, hang on. I gotta do this a little bit. Hang on.
Your end, just in OBS, you might have yourself
No,
tuned down.
I got my mic at full volume. Actually, you can't get any louder. The mic and an OBS, so there might just be maybe uh Logitech's letting me down right now. That's happened in the
Oh,
past.
Logitech.
Yeah, you never know though. Thank you for letting me know, Gorian. Um, yeah, Grux. I'm sorry, Chandler. I kind of lost my whole train of thought.
Yeah, no, that's all good. I was just kind of saying the argument between run Kai or run Grux in the jungle, and it's kind of nice just seeing that option there because again, like a good Grux player is obviously going to outplay a average Kai player, but then obviously a good Kai player may outplay a good Grux. But it's just nice to see where the jungle's at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's actually a little bit of that going on in the Discord. Uh,
Oh, the Discord's fun.
yeah, the Discord's a dumpster fire 45% of the time. Like, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, that's okay. Everyone, it's almost in their blood at this point to just find something to hate on. That's just the cool thing to do on the internet, anyways. Nobody wants to talk about anything positive, so
mm, um,
that's okay.
yeah, there was a bit of something going in that Grux counters Chimera extremely well, just naturally, like before items and everything. Um, and because of that, Kai is just not going to be good. But like realistically, ladies and gentlemen,
Before, so
I might have to burst your bubble a little bit. Kai was never a good hero in Paragon, and if you thought he was, it's because you were low elo like me, and that's a fact. That's not like he was a pub stomper. He was not anything else, and
yeah.
he's better in Fault than he ever was in Paragon, in my opinion. Chimera. I'm talking about Chimera here, ladies and gentlemen, for people that are mind blown at what I'm saying. Um, like I really do think that, and that Kai is better than he ever has been in Fault at this current time, and he did get a buff on the last patch that we also haven't talked about, but that's you know he's good. I understand that that the trauma counters the health regen that Kai has, but well, that's where items come in, ladies and gentlemen. There's items in the game that counter trauma. You can also build items to build more health regen if you want to. You know what I mean? Now that does come into the point. It has been brought up in the chat here, and it has been brought up in the Discord. I've seen it like once or twice in social media. Not very much on social media. Um, the items, right? Now I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest. I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest. We're gonna a little bit of a spoiler of Act 3. What I think Fault is like they're really I think they're starting to really do it right. Like they're starting to check all the boxes almost. They're starting to get on those
Well,
bases. Like they're
yeah,
really it's starting to come around. Like it really is. I really think Strain Matter Studio like you could just like they've been elevating slowly but surely, and they're just going
yeah.
at
Kind
it
of hitting
like
their stride.
they really are. Like the way I uh worded it yesterday. In fact, was I saying like Strain Matter Studios? It felt like they were kind of a train. They were a train. It starts off slow, but the train never stops speeding up. It never stops. It just keeps getting faster. And now it takes a while for it to get faster, but once it gets going, it's awesome. It's just like
Yeah, get a little momentum behind it.
absolutely a little bit of momentum. Um, but moving forward, we need to see more items in the game. We're
Oh
at
yeah,
that
well that's
moment.
just
Yeah,
that's natural growth though. Like
that's what I'm
that
saying.
will come with time. Like that doesn't necessarily need to be implemented for people to enjoy the game. Clearly,
No, no. Well, I don't know though. See, it feels like
Definitely before full release, but I mean,
yes,
again, that's a different conversation. There's a big long checklist of things to hit before full release. I mean, nobody's going to lie and say there isn't that, but
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, you're right there. I think I think it feels like it's the right time. Like it felt like you were getting away with, and like it was okay to have just a few items in the beginning of the game when there's only 14 heroes. But now we're moving into our 18th hero, ladies and gentlemen. We're now adding more dynamics to the game. There is stealth in the game now. There's trauma in the game now. And yes, they have one or two items for trauma. They don't really have a very good counters to stealth at the moment. Unfortunately, people say that wards should be good enough, but I don't. They should be, but they're not. Okay, um,
yeah.
and that's a whole other issue by itself. I really think it feels like it's just as you were saying, like the natural growth where it's organically time to add more items now. It's time to give people a bit more variety and to get a bit more funky with their builds. Um, because we're adding more heroes with literally completely different mechanics, dynamics, and strategies into the game, but we're still working with the
Yep.
same items. So I think it's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying like a lot of items, like maybe 5 items, maybe even 10. You know, like if you go overzealous, you can go more. But like I
Yeah,
think
but that's one of those things where it's better to kind of wait and figure out kind of how the community, because it doesn't matter how you
yeah.
kind of
Well, last thing you want to
try to
do
design the
is just
game. The
add
community
another
is going.
60 items into the game, 55 of them being useless.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna
you
say
know what I
if you're
mean?
gonna just add filler just to say, "Oh, look at us, we have this many more items."
Yeah.
Like if nobody's using any of those items and it's just filler just to say you have more, like what good is that?
Yeah, absolutely. They have to be well thought out, right? Like
Yeah,
don't waste your uh programmer's time by coding in items that no one's ever going to use.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever. That's yeah. Um so so I think with Grux, I think it's time that we add in that it's time for the items. I do think Grux is awesome. I think he's super
Yeah.
fantastic. I think Kalari needs a bit more of a balance. And I just think like it sucks playing a Kalari right now. It just sucks. It's frustrating and it's hard to counter because they've nerfed the way wards work and like the amount of wards you can have placed down twice now in early access. And then they released Kalari and it hurts. On top of that, her dagger has the slowest cooldown I've ever seen. That's crazy. Her dagger is crazy good. Like I'm and like and if you build attack speed on her, oh my goodness, it's foolish. Not even that, you can build tank Kalari if you want. You know what I mean? Like and you're not really detrimenting yourself. Like you're still doing damage.
Yep.
You know? And then you got like a 30-second or whatever it is invisibility buff. So it's like that's what I'm saying. 14. It's just like an Alpha 2 weekend and Alpha 1 weekend. Where all the tank Countess, but it's tank Kalari meta is back. You know, like
Yeah.
both the assassins in the game there. This tank thing, this tank issue has occurred. And it's just been a balancing. It'll get fixed. That's not what I'm worried about. It's
Uh-oh,
frustrating.
Cha got himself in a little situation here on screen.
Yeah.
That was that's a rough one to watch.
Oof. Sorry, Cha. Better luck next time. Um, yeah. Okay. So moving forward, Chandler, I need to talk about it. We actually
But
got a Halloween lobby map. We talked about
I
it.
mean, so yeah, that was the thing. I think we talked about that last week where I said with the tweet they originally put out, it didn't make any reference to any kind of cosmetic changes to the map, and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, well, that's kind of a missed opportunity with a special event and whatnot to not at least put something in there. And then the update drops and has a few cosmetic changes. I mean, it's good flavor. It's shown that they're actually willing to do stuff like that. I mean, at the same time, it's funny enough. It's one of those things where they do that and then you have some people that go, "Oh, sweet, we get a map update," and then you have other people that just go bitch and complain and go, "Oh, well, they have time to do this. Why aren't they putting it into something else?"
Yeah.
So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't with something like that. But I think definitely they're kind of looking out for
But the
the
thing
part of
is,
the
we were
community
talking
that
about it, and it's funny because way back when they remember when they revamped the website for the first time. Remember we showed it in one of the info.
yep,
It says there's going to be HUD skins. Essentially, is what it said. It said there's going to be map skins. Like
yep,
and we saw that, and I remember pointing it out and being like, well, you're the one that found it actually, and I remember seeing this stuff and going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And like, we never heard
yeah,
anything
yeah,
about it. It was just on the website, one little line of like 6 words. And like, we
yep,
saw this and I remember we touched on it. And I think,
yep,
I think this is the first, like, what I'm trying to say is I think this Halloween map is the first take of that. I think this might have been in the works for a little bit longer than they might have let on. You know what I mean?
oh yeah. Well,
Especially with the way they worded their announcement. Uh like yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it would have been cool. Again, it's kind of disappointing that the HUD that they had commissioned kind of fell through because it came to them in such a shit condition that they just really it wasn't fitting the vibe at all of what they wanted. So I mean, they had to start from scratch and start implementing their own after they assumed the commissioned work they were going to have done was going to be done to
Yeah,
their
but like
standards. Because that's what would have been cool too to see with, because like we said, what we saw there on the Trello HUD skins. I mean, you get that new HUD in there, and then all of a sudden you have the cosmetics to the map, but then you can also have again a
mhm.
Halloween HUD skin on there, and just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is this Halloween map. It's essentially like a skin for the map. Like that's another way you
Yeah,
can look at it. And it was actually on the website that stuff like this was going to happen. But it was
yep,
very, very, very low key.
yeah,
I don't even think it's on the website anymore, to be honest. It was at one point. And but what also was in that was HUD skins. And there was something else. HUD skins, map skins, and I think ward skins, but we've seen the ward skins. I don't know. So like
yeah.
it's kind of interesting because maybe that's where we're getting to. That's just a few things that like obviously have never been talked about by SMS at all, but like they've stated it somewhere, very
Yeah.
very low key that like that is
Well,
that is a
it's
plan.
yeah, and it's going to be cool going forward too, because they had that other announcement of having the actual dev streams are confirmed to be coming back.
Oh,
So
thanks,
I
sweet
mean,
baby goodness. I'm
oh, then it's just going to be nice because again, you got to think like that's where they can answer some of the more pressing questions direct, and they can like it's sometimes it's easier on stream to interpret your intentions a
Mhm.
little bit better because you're able to kind of spell it out rather than putting out one post and then people just interpreting it however they want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. Sorry, I'm just reading.
Yeah, well, and
I'm
then
really excited for
it's
the
like it'll
streams.
yeah, and it'll be nice like because let's say they do get that their own personally made HUD finished for the Christmas event. It'll be cool to see if we do get like a HUD skin that's Christmas themed and different things like that. Like
That's what I'm
it's just
saying.
going to be nice to see all the
Mhm.
little things that just make the game feel a little more complete.
Absolutely, we might be. Like they've proven they can do the Halloween. I would say, as long as it's plausible, we could probably see some kind of Christmas thing in the works. As long as it's
More than likely,
plausible,
obviously.
plausible. It has to be plausible, right? Um, like you never know. But the one
I
thing that
mean,
we
I think
do
the
know,
biggest thing is having Richter before Christmas.
that has to be
That's the
Crunch. I'm
most
sorry,
important thing.
has to be Crunch.
Well, I was just thinking about that Richter Christmas skin.
Oh my, that's a Halloween skin. I don't know what you're talking about. That skin is scary. Um, And of course, we're still waiting on our skins. At that, now that you mentioned it, we are still waiting on our Grimmix Twin Blast, or I just said Twin Blast, bleh. Grimmix
Morgus.
Decker skins. No, man, like the skins that come to season pass. Like, what are they coming or not? Like, well, obviously they're coming, but like, are they coming like soon, or are we gonna have like a whole new lineup of heroes again before they show up? I don't know. Um, and of course, we got the HUD that's in the works. You know what I'm really interested in? I wish I had a bit more, and just to be a little bit critical here, right? I wish I do believe Strain Rush is doing super fantastic. I think this Halloween really showed that this is like awesome. But like they said they like as publicly stated they were using a AAA company, literally the company that like made the Paragon HUD, which doesn't really mean anything. It's just any old AAA company. But like you're telling me that this AAA company was unable to provide Fault with a HUD that met their standards when their job, when this company's job is to do artistic stuff like HUDs for like a gazillion video games a year. Like that's like their like stuff like that. Not just HUDs. They obviously do a bit more than that. I forget what their name is, the company, but like I yeah, I would. It would be kind of cool if there was a bit more insight into that, but like obviously we're not gonna
Yeah.
get it. But it's just like it's like
Well, even like whenever they do get their own HUD out, like I'd like to see the botched one that they determined wasn't good enough.
yeah.
Like no matter what, like even if it like obviously isn't implemented, like I don't know. Maybe that's just me being too nosy, but
Yeah, it's just something to think about. It's just a little bit of like that. It's just a little bit of
yeah.
just
Well, with
something to
any
think
game
about.
I play, I like going into it a little deeper and like seeing concept art and kind of I don't
Absolutely.
know. I like seeing the process from concept to reality, not just kind of seeing a finished product.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to get to it. I think this is most of it, and this is where I think it's come. Number one, I want to say it now, and I want everyone to hear it loud and clear. Faults. This is how good of a job Ryan Red and Balix are doing with marketing and media. They're doing so good that I honestly, and I mean this with full mind and heart in mind. That made no sense, but I think the Fault community is spoiled. We know so much about the game and the updates and all this stuff, way more than I've ever seen out of any game ever. Ever.
Yeah,
And like I'm not saying now when I say spoiled, what well, obviously I mean like spoiled, like a spoiled brat kind of kid thing. But I also mean it in the way that I think they're doing they're pushing the envelope. Strain Studios are pushing the envelope on what is good. And I mean they're going above and beyond what companies do. They're doing that like they're doing that good right now. I really
yeah,
do believe like they're doing super fantastic. I think, and their execution in the videos is awesome. They've only improved on that. All their trailer
yeah. I was
videos and
gonna
all
say,
that, they're awesome.
did Balix put together that last Grux
Uh
hero review?
he he did something with it. I don't know what he did, but like he just mentioned like he was he
He was a part of it.
yeah he was a part of it. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly anything more.
how deep that goes.
Yeah, but like
Now, I was impressed to see that actually implemented. I mean, obviously, that's going to be a thing for every hero going forward. I mean, it would have been nice seeing one for Grimmix because I think there was a lot of people that were quite confused with how the different modes worked. So just having a little video walking through it might have been beneficial. But at the same time, I guess like it is kind of temporary because things do get changed. Like it is early access, so nothing's set in stone. So you kind of date yourself by putting a hero review in if something changes drastically.
you're right, you're right. But like even still though, they're doing such a good job right now. Like it's just Like I'm just kind of mind blown. And then they're finally having a return of the dev streams. Thank goodness. The only thing, okay, if I was to be critical about like uh, the way they're presenting themselves, I just think like as you were saying, as we were talking about earlier, like it's really easy still to get confused with the way they word stuff sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, so like I just that's where maybe dev streams make it a bit better, but I think there's but you know there's a bit more. You could just word it better probably. But besides that, I think they're doing fantastic. The dev streams are coming back, as I said. Like I'm so excited. I think they're awesome. I think with a niche community, it's going to make Bloody Americans and their wording. That's what I'm saying. First, well, Ryan Red's a Canadian, but yeah, same thing really, right? Right, Mike. Uh,
To Mike, we're all the same.
North America means you're American. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
who was talking today? Shizuku, it's just mean gotta get swole at the moment. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
well, we got no guests,
No
but we do.
Norweginator. We're still crying about that.
But we do have someone we asked to be a guest, and they did say yes.
Well,
Stay tuned.
that'd be that's kind of nice. Yeah, it's been what,
It's been
3 weeks since
it's
we
been
had
a
a guest?
while.
Three,
It's been a
4?
while. Yeah,
I think it's actually close to 4 weeks, isn't it?
it's someone with how I'll say this. It's someone with a fantastic beard. That's all you'll get out of me for now.
He's got a bit of energy too, from what I hear.
Yeah, they have a bit of energy to say the least. Yeah. Yeah, and of course I got the dev blogs, and and this is where we're talking about Fault taking a turn. I think Fault is taking a turn, and they're only becoming better. They're taking a turn for the best instead of a turn for the
Yeah.
worst. They're taking a turn for the best right now. I think what they're doing is awesome. Listen, they've added 3 people that are working full time hours, at least for the time being, whether that be contract basis, 1 month, 2 months, or actual full time like salary kind of shit. Um, SMS now has an additional 120 hours a week minimum of people working on the game.
Yeah.
People with different skills and as well. That I think is awesome, and I'm telling you, we haven't seen it yet, but the fruits of those 3, the fruits of their labor, it's gonna be shown soon, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's like it's all coming together there now. It's starting to be awesome. Um, I think it's cool. I'm excited to hear more about that whenever SMS is ready to talk about what's next. Like,
Yeah.
I would love for some river buffs.
Yeah, I mean that was one of those things that was kind of left up in the air, where it was kind of talked about maybe being implemented, and then kind of, I don't know. I haven't heard anything since then.
So
That's
we
been about a
buff
month.
movement speed and full. Well, we're not devs, but I don't think so. I personally think it's I personally think it's pretty good. Personally, but that's my opinion. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited for these, exactly as Alfredo said. They're slotted for Q3 2020, but that was from August. So obviously there might be a little bit of a lack of updating on the Trello because it's just the Trello, right? Um,
Yeah.
but when is the dev stream Deceiver? They are starting early November. It was in the announcement. No exact date, but we should be seeing them. Essentially, early November should be like, what's that? The next 20 days, we should see a dev stream, at least one, which is kind of exciting, which is really exciting, to be honest.
I
Yeah.
really hope it's Sylphin.
Yeah, Kanoko, it kind of confuses everyone because, especially with like, the way I look at the Trello is it's stuff that like, it's all like soft goals. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Like everything is subject to change on that Trello. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
always.
like that's just how it is.
Yep.
Q4 looking mighty fine. You're right, Alfredo. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Oh my goodness. Ah, I'm excited. Um, yeah. So what do we have to look forward to going forward? The fruits of the labor of the three new employees. Uh, a possible maybe Christmas seasonal. That's just us hoping. There's nothing
I
confirmed or
would
anything.
imagine if they did something for Halloween, I can almost guarantee they're
Yeah.
doing something for Christmas.
Another hero, of course. The HUD. Whenever that decides to be uh implemented. Um,
Yep.
a few new items. A bit of balancing, of course. A few new hero skins. We gotta get them. Like they gotta come soon, man. It's time. It's like you've hit that cusp where it feels like it's time. You know what I mean? Uh, dev streams, of course. River buffs. Hopefully one day. My goodness, please just do it. Uh, that's what it. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say this because this kind of got me. I was thinking about this earlier, and I just wanted to throw it out there. Like, listen. When I play Fault, personally, it doesn't look like AAA quality. Like it looks good. Don't get me wrong. But like even on epic settings at 100 FPS, like my computer can run that no problem. It doesn't look like it doesn't look AAA quality, in my opinion. Um, and like, but there was a lighting before they capped the frames at 100, and they changed the lighting before. It looked a lot better, in my opinion. Um, but that's that's my opinion. So listen. Well, this is basically the rant that I have. It might be my fault or my rig's problem that it doesn't look AAA quality or something. Maybe it is. But all I should have to do, I'm not a computer whiz. I'm just a basic pleb like the majority of people with a computer. I should be able to just hit play on Steam, change the settings to epic, and it looks good. Like it shouldn't have to be all this other mumbo jumbo. Like okay, maybe you have to update your drivers. Like that's kind of you have to do that obviously. Um, but like I don't know. I just wanted to get that out there. I think it's a very this is so off topic and like I don't even know if anyone understands where I'm coming from. Like some people do that are watching, but some definitely don't. Um, uh, but like I hate hearing that like it's my fault as a consumer that the game doesn't look good, even though or the game doesn't play well because I don't like get it or I don't have a good enough rig or well there's like obviously like you have to be realistic. Like if you're running 4 gigabytes of RAM, the game ain't gonna run. You know what I mean? Like if you're running even 8 gigs, like you're gonna be playing on low settings. Like that's just how it is. But, like, you know. Yeah. I don't want to say anything more about that, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. Man, and I just wanted to say, listen, the map needs more meat, in my opinion. It seems a little barren compared to other games. Alfredo, I would agree. I'll think they'll get there though. Like it's not really like a priority, in my opinion, but like it's nice, Like I like nice and pretty things just as much as the next person. So Kanoko, oh my goodness, never. Well, they got the frames capped at 100 FPS, so there's no reason to if even if you got 64 gigs of RAM, there's no reason to play at less than Epic because it's not like you can go above 100 FPS, which is kind of unfortunate. Hopefully that changes one day. Um, but overall, I do have to say I think SMS is doing a fantastic job. I think they're slowly but surely, uh, just it's getting more better. I'm excited for what's in the future. I think the game's balance is actually pretty good, with the exception of Kalari. I think Kalari, it needs a heavy balance change, not even just slight. I think a heavy. But overall, like if Kalari was just like somehow ghosted from the game, I think it'd be good. Give me 5 seconds, will ya, Chandler? What do you think of the game as we go forward? Do you think it's in a good place?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it's quite literally a work in progress. So, I mean,
It really
you know,
is.
so why do you have the whole stream just chilling there?
Oh, she.
Don't you got two displays, Captain?
I do got two displays. Hang on. We'll take 5 seconds. That's
Yeah,
okay. We're still amateurs in the real world and on stream. That's okay.
that
Oof. Oof.
yeah.
Why isn't it going all the way over? All right. Sorry about that, guys. Oof. Listen, I goof up every single stream. That's just how it is. Okay. It was bound to happen. It didn't happen at the beginning, so it had to happen sometime.
I was
Uh,
gonna say I was very surprised. Normally, it's in the right from the beginning, and you do your whole intro, and
yeah, but it's usually just like
mic's not on.
a small little mistake, and then it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
No,
really
but
got.
yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like the game's
That's the
still
stranger
in
guarantee.
still in early access. It's all a work in progress. Anyone that's looking for a finished game can definitely wait till it's fully released. You're
Absolutely.
literally anyone buying into a product that they fully well know beforehand is in early access kind of needs to take a step back and kind of comprehend what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen,
But
I don't really got much else. That's about it. How long have we been doing
nope.
this? An hour? About an hour now, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you exactly what it is. It's 54 minutes and 17 seconds is what we're at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are going to raid someone else as we go forward. Uh, I'm hoping next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I did want to say next week, once I get my schedule for work, I'm hoping that we can do a bit of a longer stream and we can dive into it a bit more, because I feel like we're only touching the tip of the iceberg with a lot of these topics, because the stream was a little bit shorter. So I would like to see uh, a few more in-depth conversations like we did in the past. But because COVID's, at least where we are, COVID's not really, well, it's starting to come back. They've The world's starting to come back to how it used to be, where myself and GottaGetSwole and EssayRead live. It's just becoming a bit harder. So I would love to see it come back. I like how it's constantly improving, and it's exciting to be part of the changes. Paradox Howl, I completely agree. It's awesome to see the fruits of their labors and everything that they're doing, and I love how updated they keep us, and I hope they continue to do that. They did something like, I saw it somewhere, but we'll just say like in 11 days they did 9 announcements or something. I think that's awesome, personally. Always giving us something to be hyped about, to look forward to, something to keep us engaged, involved. Uh, I just think it's awesome. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, definitely ever since Ryan kind of took over the whole social side of it all, we've been getting a little more to talk
One
about.
thing you gotta give Ryan Red. One thing you gotta give Ryan Red. One like did the I think his best quality is how well he listens. And like, he's not just someone that listens that says, "Yeah, I'll do it later." He's the kind of person that, like, he listens to what you say, takes it inside his head, thinks about it when he goes to bed, wakes up the next morning, thinks about it a bit more when he's in the shower, agrees, or then finally agrees or disagrees if what you suggested is a good idea or not. And if he thinks it's a bad one, he always feels that there is some kind of good, like, there's always like a bit of goodness in a suggestion, and then he does it. Like, he really, like, he takes the suggestions and really does execute. He's really good at that stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Like he's it's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see the man listen to everything and somehow make it all work and continue to improve. So, yeah. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a stream. We have to go to Cha because we've been watching Cha. Shout out to Cha. We will host Cha.
Yeah.
We will host the man. We will go to one final song as we hit the end, and then we will get going. All right, what's the song gonna be? It's gonna be this. Oh, not this song. This song's sad. We'll go with this. Hey, what a flippity flop, though. This is Stranger or Big Moose. This is a Faultarian Journal number 19, ladies and gentlemen. I was co-hosted today with GottaGetSwole, usually EssayRead, and Norweginator here as well, 14. Don't think I didn't forget about what you said. We will be having a guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to see if we can get it for next week. The man has a long beard. That's all we're going to say. He's super fantastic. You'll know him. You'll love him. I promise. And, why did the music stop? We thought it was stronger. And yeah, let's hit this raid, ladies and gentlemen. And see you. I thought we were better.